Hey friends, it's another episode with the budget-friendly chef. Today we're going to make easy baked potato soup. This recipe is going to have two different sections of supplies that you're going to need to cook. This first section is pretty much everything that you're going to go ahead and put in the crock pot so that you can get it going, let it sit for 4 hours, and then go find something else to do with your day. We need 1 box of low-sodium bacon, uncooked. You need 6 large russet potatoes. You're going to peel and large dice those. A half a large sweet yellow onion, and you're going to dice that. 1 quart chicken stock, 3 tablespoons of garlic peeled and chopped, 1/4 cup of unsalted butter. You're going to dice that while it's cold. 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. So let's go ahead and do some step-by-step so you can see how it looks while we're putting it together. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and turn my oven on to 350 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and lay out all of my low sodium bacon. I like to put it on top of aluminum foil. That way I can catch the drippings and it makes it much easier to come off of the pan. You're going to cook that for 13 minutes or till slightly brown. When your bacon is done, you're going to remove it from the oven and turn off the oven. Make sure you turn on your crock pot to low. Remove the bacon from the tray and place on a paper towel on a plate. That way you can remove the excess bacon fat drippings. Allow the bacon to cool off. With pot holders, you're going to turn the sheet pan sideways to allow some of the bacon drippings to drip into the bottom of your crock pot. This is going to give you some extra flavor. And I would probably make sure I have about 2 to 3 tablespoons of bacon drippings in the bottom of my crock pot. Next, you're going to pull out a cutting board, a peeler, a chef's knife, and your large potatoes. You want to wash and peel your potatoes. This is actually a fun opportunity for you to do something with your kids. You're then going to large dice the potatoes and add them into the crock pot, which you can now go ahead and turn on high. I've added a picture of my diced potatoes as well as my crock pot so that you can see how I just toss everything into the crock pot with the drippings and it's just gonna cook. So make sure you put the lid back on and let's keep going. You're then going to clean and peel your yellow onion and small dice half of the onion. You're gonna add that on top of the potatoes in the crock pot. You're then going to peel, clean, and chop your garlic and add that on top of the onions inside the crock pot. Go ahead and add the chopped up butter on top of the garlic. Add your salt, your pepper, and pour the quart of chicken or vegetable broth, whichever's better for you, into the crock pot. I'm then going to stir everything inside the crock pot and put the lid on. Make sure you have your crock pot set to high. Then go ahead and set your alarm for 4 hours and go do something for you for the next few hours. I've included a picture here so you can see what everything looks like when it's inside the crock pot. Make sure that you come back and stir this every once in a while and put the lid back on. At 4 hours, I'm going to go over and check my crock pot. What I do is I usually take a ladle and I take half of the contents inside the bowl, liquid and the potato mixture, and I'm going to put it in a blender, a magic bullet, a food processor, and I want to blend that up, and I'm going to add it back to my soup, which will allow me to have a soup-like texture and not leave the entire thing chunky. Please be careful, this mixture is going to be hot. You're then going to add this mixture that you created inside your magic bullet or your blender, and you're going to add it back to the crock pot. Now it's time to go ahead and prep the final ingredients of your baked potato soup. You're going to chop up 3/4 of the bacon and go ahead and add that to the crock pot. You want to set aside 1/4 of the bacon left so that you can put it as garnish at the end. You're going to gather heavy whipping cream, half and half, mild cheddar cheese, mixed Mexican cheese, shredded, and rough chop your green onions. Now, when you start adding in your cold ingredients like your cheese and your milks, you want to make sure that you're stirring it at the same time so that it doesn't cause the mixture to curdle. You're going to add 1 cup of half and half, 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, Make sure you're slowly stirring the contents so that it can be properly mixed throughout. You're then going to add 2 cups of your Mexican blend cheese and 2 cups of your mild cheddar cheese and stir that into all the contents inside the crock pot. It may get a little thick, don't worry, it'll be fine. You then want to add your green onions to the soup. Look at all that cheese. Look at all the green onions. I'm telling you, this is going to be so good. So we're finally at the end of the recipe. If by chance your soup ends up coming out a little bit too thick, you can always add a little water. Maybe just start with a cup to help loosen it up and unthicken it. I also always have a little side of the bacon, a side of green onions, a side of sour cream, a side of the cheeses. That way everybody can kind of top it with whatever things that they really enjoy eating. And we go from there. Your recipe is done. You can freeze this or eat it right away. Please be sure to taste it before you actually give it out to your family, just because I didn't add a lot of salt and pepper in here, and the reason being we try to eat a little less sodium in our family, but you can adjust it accordingly. There's quite a bit of bacon salt that comes through with the bacon and the cheese, so you should taste a bit of it in that, but you can always adjust the seasoning, maybe even adding some Tabasco or Cholula. So that was our recipe today for baked potato soup in a crock pot. I want to thank all my friends and my family that have been following me and supporting me in this interesting venture. Please be sure to visit our Facebook group. The link is in the comments for the full recipe. Like, subscribe, and leave us comments about any recipes that you would like for us to cook or that you would like to see here on the channel. As always, thank you guys so much. Your friendly Shane, the Budget Chef.